Hello, thanks for joining me again. I'm back with my friend Peter Darke of Darke Cycles, and we're having a look at some more of his very interesting collection of motorcycles. And today he's got out this old MZ for us to have a look at.
Right, well this bike has a little bit of a story behind it. I didn't own an MZ and I'd been to 2 MZ rallies with a friend who was a fanatic. So I decided to buy one. I went down to Oxford for it. I was told it was a runner, but the piston rings were seized into the piston, but at the great expense of £10, and all the way from Germany. We've got a new set of rings. It now runs. We've bought some new indicators. It's passed its MOT, and the next MZ rally that I go to, I can actually arrive on an MZ bike. It's a bit beaten up, but it's ideal for winter use. And the way I look at those MZs is, if they can withstand Eastern European winters, you can do anything with them. This is a 125. It's got some unusual features. Internal brakes inside the hub, so the cable just goes in, so there's no activation arm that can corrode in the winter. The engines were tuned much better than the British were doing at the same sort of time. I do believe there's some story about a guy who worked for MZ and he defected and went to Suzuki in the 60s, and he developed their 2-strokes and made them even faster. But it was a technology he'd actually learned at MZ that he took with him. So this is the front brake cable going into the drum, and once you take it apart there is another activation arm. The activation arm is slightly shorter than a normal arm, so the brakes aren't as powerful, but they're not going to seize up. They used a press steel frame because steel in the Eastern Bloc was in short supply. Aluminium, there's an abundance of it. So anything that could make out of alloy they did. They even cast the back end of the frame. So this is all solid. You know, you could probably weigh that in at the scrapyard. Chain guard with the rubbers on it, so your chain doesn't get mucky. But I can remember these as a child or a young teenager, and we would laugh at them because they used to produce plumes of smoke out the back. We didn't realise what was actually involved in them.
Well, I can remember, you know, back in the 1980s, most of my friends who rode British bikes, or at least owned British bikes, spent most of the time riding one of these. You know, the MZ was such a popular bike,
Yep.
particularly as winter transport.
But even the straightforwardness of this back brake cable, it just rotates on there, which activates the arm which pulls on the cable. Straightforward, simple. Prop stand, which comes out the back of the frame.
Yeah, sort of rear stand on it, and like you say, the centre stand's a bit cast item there, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing I remember here, like with the gear changer and the Kickstarter sort of integrated. Tell us about that.
That one isn't the gear start, the kickstart. You're talking about the CZ. The CZ used to have a gear lever kickstart.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah.
Do have one of those if you want to take a photograph. This one obviously at some point had a hit in the tank.
Yeah, it's got quite a big dent there. Just means you've got less fuel in there, doesn't it, I guess? Yeah. So I noticed, Peter, there's like the little lever for the adjustment on the suspension there. So obviously you don't even need tools to adjust your suspension.
No, as far as I know, if it's not seized, you can just rotate it and it'll stiffen the back end up.
Yeah, wonderful.
2 up on a 125.
So thank you very much, Peter. What a wonderful bike.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing it to us.